Obedience as a Subscription Model. Welcome back. I'm Adeline Atlas, 11 times published author, and this is the Social Credit and Surveillance series. In this episode, we explore a disturbing and fascinating concept: obedience as a subscription model. We're all familiar with the concept of subscriptions. You pay a fee, and you gain access to a service or product. Whether it's a streaming service, a gym membership, or a software subscription, we've grown accustomed to the idea of paying for access. But what if that model extended beyond just services and products? What if obedience itself became a form of subscription? The social credit system is starting to resemble exactly that: a subscription to social compliance. In a society where your behavior is constantly monitored and scored, your access to resources, opportunities, and even basic freedoms is increasingly tied to how well you adhere to the rules of the system. Your obedience becomes the currency that grants you access to the world around you. In this episode, we'll break down how the concept of obedience as a subscription model is shaping the way we interact with society, and how social credit systems are turning our compliance into a digital commodity. From rewards for good behavior to penalties for non-compliance, this system incentivizes us to subscribe to conformity in exchange for social access. But at what cost? The subscription model. An overview. Let's start by looking at how the traditional subscription model works. In today's economy, we see it everywhere. You pay a monthly fee and you get access to a service. You subscribe to Netflix and get access to a library of films and TV shows. You subscribe to Spotify and get access to music. You subscribe to Amazon Prime and you get access to free shipping, exclusive content, and more. This model is based on a simple idea. You pay for access. The more you pay, the more access you get. If you cancel your subscription, you lose that access. But in the social credit system, the subscription model is applied to obedience. Instead of paying money for services, you pay with your compliance, your willingness to follow the rules and norms set by the system. In return, you gain access to the resources, services, and privileges of society. The concept is deceptively simple. If you follow the rules, you gain access. If you don't, access is restricted. This system incentivizes people to conform to the expectations of the government or corporations. You don't have to pay a fee, but you do have to submit to the rules, and your obedience becomes the price of access. Obedience as the new currency. In the traditional world of financial currency, money is what grants you access to services, products, and opportunities. But in the world of social credit systems, obedience is the new currency. You no longer need money to access the basics of life. What you need is a good score. The higher your score, the more freedom you have. The lower your score, the more limited your access becomes. In smart cities and social credit systems, the behavior of every citizen is tracked, monitored, and scored. Whether it's your purchases, social media activity, or compliance with state regulations, everything is factored into your score. If you consistently conform to the rules, your score rises, and you gain access to the benefits of the system. If you stray from the approved behavior, your score drops, and you face the consequences: restricted access to financial services, denied housing opportunities, limited travel, and even social exclusion. In a society where obedience is currency, your behavior becomes your worth. If you comply with the system, you gain access to a better quality of life. If you don't, the system punishes you by restricting your access to society's resources. The price of access is no longer just about money, it's about compliance. Rewards and penalties in the subscription model. One of the key features of the subscription model is the idea of rewards and penalties. In traditional subscriptions, if you keep your membership, you gain rewards, extra content, benefits, and services. But if you cancel or violate the terms of your subscription, you lose those benefits. The same idea applies in a social credit system, but with obedience as the currency. In this model, your good behavior is rewarded. If you follow the rules, if you maintain a high score by participating in the approved actions, expressing approved opinions, and engaging in approved behaviors, you are granted access to more privileges. These privileges could include financial rewards, better housing, or even job promotions. On the flip side, if you fail to comply, if you step out of line or engage in non-compliant behavior, you face penalties. These penalties can include restricted access to services, denied opportunities, or even public shaming. In some cases, penalties can be severe: loss of freedom, limited mobility, or the loss of basic rights. The system creates a constant cycle where obedience is rewarded with privileges, while non-compliance is met with punishment. In this way, the subscription model doesn't just encourage good behavior, it forces it. You're not just rewarded for conforming, you're punished for stepping out of line. The psychological impact of behavioral subscriptions. While the subscription model may seem simple on the surface, its impact on society is profound. The shift from a world where money was the currency for access to a world where obedience is the currency has a psychological effect on individuals. People begin to self-regulate their behavior, not just for their own benefit, but to earn privileges from the system. In a world where compliance is the only way to gain access, individuals are constantly aware of their actions, choices, and words. This creates a culture of self-censorship, where people refrain from saying or doing anything that could cause their score to drop. This is psychological manipulation at its core. The system is designed to make obedience feel like the only option. When your entire life, your relationships, career, and opportunities are tied to a digital score, the fear of losing privileges becomes overwhelming. You don't just conform because it's easy. You conform because your survival in this system depends on it. Obedience as the new social norm. As this subscription model takes hold, the concept of obedience becomes ingrained in society's norms. People no longer just follow rules because they are told to. They follow them because they have no choice. In this new model, obedience becomes the path to prosperity, while non-compliance is the path to failure. The social credit system creates an environment where obedience isn't just expected, it's required. Your worth as a person is determined by how well you align with the system's expectations. The system doesn't just reward good behavior, it demands it, and it punishes you for straying from the approved path. This creates a society of conformists, where everyone's behavior is shaped by fear of punishment and desire for rewards. There's no room for individuality, free thought, or rebellion. Everyone is tied to the system, and the only way to succeed is to subscribe to the rules, lockstep with the demands of the government, corporations, and the digital grid. The global spread of the subscription model. While China's social credit system may seem like an extreme example, the subscription model of obedience is already spreading around the world. Digital identification systems, health passports, predictive surveillance, and even banking restrictions are being tested in various countries. As the technology behind these systems improves, it becomes increasingly likely that obedience-based subscription models will be implemented globally. In many ways, the social credit system is already being implemented in the West, albeit more slowly. From data privacy concerns to digital identification systems and health monitoring, we are inching closer to a world where obedience becomes a condition for access to basic services and opportunities. Whether it's social media companies, banks, or governments, the idea that your compliance determines your access is becoming more and more commonplace. What happens when compliance becomes the only option? As we shift from a world of financial currency to a world of obedience as currency, we must ask, what happens to freedom? When compliance is the only way to access resources, we start to live in a world without choice. Dissent becomes a crime, and non-compliance becomes punishable. The idea of free will becomes a fading ideal, replaced by the obligation to conform. In this system, the more we subscribe to obedience, the more we lose the ability to think for ourselves, to make choices, and to question the system. Our independence is traded for security, but in reality, it's not security at all. It's control. The subscription model doesn't just control what we consume. It controls who we are, how we live, and how we exist in society. Hi, I am Adeline Atlas, 11 times published author, and SOS, School of Soul has a brand new series, the AI and Future Technology series. Look, you know the world is changing. And no, it's not going back to normal. Normal is over, and what's coming next is beyond anything we were prepared for. The School of Soul, AI and Future Technology series includes 319 videos on 1. The Download Society, How Data Has Replaced Destiny. 2. Predictive Future. Your next moves aren't random, they're forecasted. 3. Social Credit Systems. The behavioral economy now governs access. 4. Hive Mind. Synthetic telepathy and collective algorithmic control. 5. Nanobots inside you. Medical, military, and programmable intrusions. 6. Grief Tech. AI-fueled digital resurrection and simulated comfort. 7. Uploading your mind, consciousness transfer, and data-based identity. 8. Deep fakes plus AI clones. The replication of reality and identity theft. 9. Quantum humans. The merger of biology with quantum systems. 10. Digital afterlife. Where your data goes when you die. 11. Resurrection science. Reviving life through synthetic methods. 12. Immortal science. The end of death as we know it. 13. Longevity science. Gene editing, anti-aging, and bio-upgrades. 14. Designer babies. Engineered perfection before birth. 15. Artificial wombs. Birth decoupled from the female body. 16. 3D printing. Printing organs, limbs, and even humans. 17. The humanoid era. The rise of synthetic beings among us. 18. Legacy humans. The slow phase-out of unmodified analog people. 19. Smart cities. Algorithmic environments that watch and decide. 20. Cloud-based societies. Citizenship without borders or bodies. 21. Hackable humans. Emotion, memory, and behavior under code. 22. Biometric scanning. Your body is your password and your prison. 23. Sex tech. Intimacy reprogrammed by machines. 24. Extinction of gender, fluidity, deletion, and design of identity. Every topic is fully explored with real-world technologies, patents, case studies, ethical analysis, and future forecasts. These aren't someday discussions. This is already happening. Join the SOS School of Soul Vault to understand the future before it's implemented on you.